I think we're going here. The setup's, yeah, we're going. All right, what's up?
How's it going?
Thanks for joining the podcast, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Short notice.
Yeah.
Came all the way in from Truro, man. That's dedication.
Came from Truro, yeah. Got the text, and I just, it happened to be a good day for me.
Yeah.
Grabbed the vehicle, did a few errands, and here I am.
What are you doing after the podcast? Are you going to go right back, or are you going to stick around?
I have a couple buddies up here, so
yeah.
I might link for some dinner with them.
Yeah.
But I should probably get home. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably interest versus what I should do.
Where are some places you like to go in the city here in Halifax?
I just checked out the Roxbury for the first time.
Oh yeah, right. But where the old
Cheers. I guess
yeah.
And that place is awesome. I prefer it. Well, it's the aesthetic there is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like $5 everything, right?
$5 food. And I've been to a couple places like that in other cities, and that it's good, but it's kind of the food is maybe not so great, but the food was excellent there. The menu was huge.
Have you ever spent time out in Vancouver?
Yeah, so that's where it was actually in Vancouver and Whistler. Yeah, it's a place called L Furniture Warehouse.
The $5 menu, that's
menu. So yeah, it's a good après spot, beers, cheap food. Can't go wrong.
Well, that's where I first came across. It was out in Vancouver, and then I was talking to someone that works there, and they're like, the kitchen's open to like 2 or 3. Yeah. So it's like, if you can keep getting food and keep getting beer till 3 a.m, it's like that'll outdo a lot of places. Exactly. Because kitchens close down at like
10. It seems like.
Is it?
Most places, yeah. But yeah, there it's like they have to be making their money on their booze sales. Obviously. Yeah.
Are booze $5, or they must be a little bit pricier?
Yeah, I think that's where. They get you is like, come in and eat as long as you want. But you're encouraged to drink as much as you can too, right?
The Nova Scotia way.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyways, man, so I was looking at your your Instagram page. I was impressed by some of the work you do. I was looking at some of Dan's stuff and Mike, and then I look at your stuff. I just find everyone that's in the space that you're in, how do I explain it? I find the space that you're in, it's hard to be consistent with paintings and things like that. Like, I don't know how you would do it. Like, when I do a podcast, I find myself consistent because, I'm just using my personality. It's just who I am. But when you paint and shit like that, it's like, how do you come up with these ideas? Like, do people ask you to do this, or is it just, you go with the flow, whatever you like that day, you start?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. So I do a lot of commissions for people. So that is very focused on a subject matter that they want, specific ideas, and then they
pull the mic a bit. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. So a bit of that. So it gives you a little bit of direction, and then they let you have that creative freedom. And then the other 50% is just, I don't know how I would come up with an idea, but it's just stuff that I'm into to have that balance, right? So
what would you prefer?
I prefer to do my own thing, like have an idea pop in my head, sit there, bang it out. I find it's much more natural that way. It can be tough to take someone's idea in their head and transform it into exactly what they want, but also line it up with your skills and ability. That can be really tough. And there's a lot of people that have pretty, unrealistic ideas of what they want.
They want a Picasso.
Yeah, or they just want to incorporate too many elements, or they want their dog with a lyric in the background. You know what I mean? But I think just a balance is kind of the best way to describe it.
It must be frustrating when you're like halfway through a piece and they come and look at it and they're like, actually, has that ever happened? Like, they want to change something. I don't want to shit on your customers. No. I know you don't want to say anything bad, but
not usually. It's I hit those at least few things that they do want to touch on, and then put my own spin on it. There's been a few times when people have maybe not liked the piece at the end of the project, but I would say that's more so because they didn't give me specific direction at the start. They just kind of said, I want one of your pieces, and it was very loose, and I was like, great, I'll do that. And then, so I guess it's a love-hate. Like, you want the direction, but you don't want too much.
Well, it's a job. At the end of the day, it's like, if you're making money off that, like, you have to listen to the person that's paying you. Exactly. So I guess any creative individual has to go through that. Yeah. It's
I think you have to be able to do your own thing to keep your kind of your creative drive there, but also the business side of things, if you want to make money off it, you have to be able to appease your clientele, right?
Well, just like any business, like even though you're an artist, like it's still business.
It's still business.
You still have to conduct the way, wherever the money comes from. Do you have a creative process? Like do you paint in the morning, paint in the afternoon, nighttime? You got to be high, like anything like that? Or like, how does it?
I take a lot from music.
Okay.
Kind of setting the vibe. I like incense stuff like that too.
Stuff.
You know, kind
love
of set, maybe put on a few candles. I don't want to sound too.
No, man. Fancy, no, not at all.
Yeah, I think the best, I guess, atmosphere would be.
It's big.
Home. You know, I have a studio in my house.
You're a homebody.
Yeah, be home.
Yeah.
You know, put on some coffee.
Yeah.
You know, maybe watch a podcast, listen to something, music, watch an interview, something like that to get me in the kind of the mood, I guess. And then set up my day so I don't have anything else going on that day. So if something does take off and you don't have to stop for something in like an hour. You're not held back by that. So I think that's probably my process in a nutshell.
No, a lot of people have different processes. I love, the channel Noisy on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of cool little pieces on artists like in New York and LA, I think a bit too. But the ones in New York, for some reason, I'm just more interested in. Like they'll go walk on the street and find inspiration, then go back to their apartment and just start something right away. I forget the guy's name. I was watching it like 2 days ago, and his creative process was so interesting. He wouldn't start until like 4 a.m. because he needed all day to gather information to start one piece. And half of my mind was like, is this guy just full of shit, or is this guy actually getting
is it
inspiration all day? Because maybe that could like add to the dramatic effect of painting a piece. It's like it gives a story behind a piece. But part of me in the world that you're in, the artistic world, and the prices that some of these things are going for, I feel like there has to be a story behind it in order for it to sell. When I was talking to Dan and Mike, and we were talking about who's the guy, he from Jay-Z quotes him a lot, Black from New York, he's dead now. He was amazing. Not Picasso. Basquiat. Yeah. Like his creative process was just ridiculous. He needed to do something. There's always a story behind a piece. Yeah. And ever since I heard that, I always thought that there was like you had to get really deep in order to have a nice piece of painting. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's just what I thought. I think
that's true to a degree, but you can really back yourself into a corner that way too. Like, distracted here, there, and everywhere, and waiting for this beam of light to come in and create this moment where you're gonna do your art. You kind of have to sometimes just say, okay, sit down and do it. Too, right? It's like anything. It's like if you sit there and kind of But
were you that kid in class that doodled?
Definitely like to doodle. Definitely like to doodle. I found growing up, and I don't know, I guess it'd be our generation, it's kind of in a light that is not as socially acceptable.
Okay.
Or sports-based stuff like that. It wasn't till I was pretty old where I thought I actually felt like it was the cool thing to do. Yeah. Or I felt myself for doing it. But it's a very short attention span. Yeah. School and stuff like that, but
I hear you.
Got through it.
When I think of like you just mentioned athletes, I think of like style now. If you look at like Westbrook, he like essentially wears art. Mm-hmm. Do you ever like get into things like that where you want to like paint a pair of shoes, or
Absolutely.
like art wearing? What's the word I'm looking for?
Like
wearable art,
fashion in general, streetwear.
Okay, yeah.
Streetwear. That's funny you say that, because last night my friend who lives in Halifax, he has a company called 2C. Okay. And he's participating in the Fashion Week that's here next week. Yeah. And it's next Thursday.
The guy Beasley, he messaged me like a minute ago about getting us in there to do some high button stuff. It's funny you bring that up. There you go.
So that's next Thursday, and he's kind of prepping for a show. And I actually did some painting on some of his jeans, clothing. So he's gonna have those on the models next week. So
sick.
It's the first time I've really messed with that stuff, and it turned out pretty cool.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Do you have inspirations of like that Off-White, like how they collaborated with Nike? Like, is that a goal of yours, or you're more of a on a canvas type of guy?
Absolutely. I'm down for a lot of different collaborations. I love networking. Yeah. I think you shouldn't box yourself in by any means. I think Virgil, the guy, that Off-White guy, is changing the game as far as multidisciplinary stuff, high scale, low, like everything. He's a mastermind, that guy.
So when you say mastermind, like when it comes to masterminds and clothing, like I have no idea what you're talking about. Explain, like, what makes Off-White so special and able to collaborate with a brand like Nike compared to, another brand? Like, what sets the greats from the mediocre? Too difficult of a question?
That's a really good question, yeah. I think it's because he's never really been in one lane and stayed in it.
Was taking risks.
Yeah, he's always taken risks. Like, he's an engineer and architect. Like he did all his schooling for that, and then just kind of decided there's more for me. And I think he got into just screen printing tees. From there, that kind of took off, and he's also a DJ. So again, back to the networking thing, he's made all of these connections, and then he's just been able to apply his signature style to right across the board: music, art, fashion.
Yeah,
he's
fun.
The man.
It's funny you mentioned music too, because that's another industry that all that stuff is in. Like that Off-White, you'll see it in music videos. You'll see it in NBA players as they walk into the arena. You'll see it absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, and even the whole female side of things too.
Do they make female clothing?
Yeah, so he's the lead designer for Louis Vuitton now as well. What? So he does the men's and women's line. And
how old's this guy?
He's a few years older. I think he's 32, somewhere in that realm. But yeah, he's probably the most sought after designer in our right now.
Where's he from? New York?
That's a good question. I think it is New York.
Is he American?
Yeah, definitely.
And he's the lead designer of Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, that's another important thing. Is his work ethic is unmatched.
Yeah,
like he'll DJ a show in Vegas at 3 a.m. and then catch a flight back to Paris at 7, and do a runway show, and then he's everywhere. So he's not just the type of guy that I feel like it all just came on his lap. He's really put himself out there and put the hours in. Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting how you say the guy just took risks and found success with Off-White. He just never did anything the same. I find that really interesting with a lot of things.
I do too.
Just taking risks in general brings reward.
Exactly.
Like having this conversation, like I'm usually just mostly comfortable having conversations with athletes and people of my nature. In this past 6 months, I'll find myself trying to discover new things, even though I'm not educated in your world. Like I love paintings and things like that, but I think just challenging yourself. I'm not saying I'm this guy and taking risks, but with risk comes reward, and I'm enjoying that side of
outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, absolutely.
What about you outside of painting? What do you like to do? I see you're wearing a Dodgers hat.
Yeah, this is pretty new for me too, so kind of outside of my comfort zone. But yeah, I did athletics growing up. Yeah, for sure. I played some hockey.
Every Canadian.
Everyone does. Played lacrosse.
Nice.
Did some tennis growing up. Skateboarding, snowboarding. It was kind of that's kind of where the art, that side of things came into play. Okay. And yeah, I went to school. Went to university here in Halifax, and kind of just recently found the heavy side of our artistic. I'd say within the last 5-6 years.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You painted a snowboard? I know you said snowboarding. I looked on you painted a snowboard.
Yeah, so that was for a mental health. Basically, it was a project that a guy had came to me and said he's going to get a bunch of different artists to. Paint snowboards, and then a portion of what was auctioned off would be donated back into some form of
cool
mental health
foundation.
Yeah. So that was really cool. He supplied the board. I did the painting, and it was completely different, something I've never done, but it turned out pretty cool. When
you paint over a snowboard, how do you must have to put another layer of something to protect the paint. What do you put over the paint in order for it not to chip?
Yeah, so that one I think it was an older snowboard. It had been used, so it had some chips and stuff. So I actually used almost like a crack fill that you'd use interior. Okay. And smoothed it all out and kind of sanded it. So sanded the gloss finish off of it. Yeah. So it was a little more matte.
Okay.
Would stick.
Would people use the snowboard? Or is this for display?
They could. Yeah. I kind of made it
for display.
Thinking that someone would just hang it on their wall, but absolutely, I didn't. You could still screw bindings into it and snowboard. But it was cool. I don't think it actually. The guy that set it all up was a little wishy-washy. So
what do you mean? Just like,
well, he pitched the idea and I was really psyched on it and spent a lot of time and did it, and then all of a sudden I gave it to the guy and it just fizzled out, and I had to get it back from him because I didn't want it. This event didn't happen yet.
What's going on here? So I
have it at home.
Oh, do you?
If anyone wants it.
We'll hang it up in the background here at the high button.
I'm hanging up there. I'm still down to donate some money to mental health, but it's just, as you know, you meet some people that don't always deliver on their word, so
it's understandable.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty sick though, that you're being able to like reach out and like help and shit like that. People are reaching out for you to work.
Yeah, it's cool.
When you were talking upstairs, can we talk about your job, like how you balance two of them? Like, you don't have to say what you do, but I think it's cool how you're able to balance all that and still stick to what you love to do. I think a lot of people, when they come home from a 9 to 5, they just want to play video games, go to bed. But if you have a passion outside your 9 to 5, I think that's cool.
I think
you're
so
able to
too.
stick with it.
And I think there's a lot more people out there that do it and maybe just portray to everyone else that they don't, which is fine too. But it's nice to hear other people that are successfully maybe working a day job, working elsewhere, and also still pouring a lot into their passion. It's tough for sure. It's tough having, a dog, a fiance, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you just make time for it. You just, you have to have a work ethic, and time management is huge. That's something that I always kind of pride myself on. And I like hearing about other people that do that. So maybe someone else is out there doing the same. And
definitely, I'd say like 85% of artists are all fucking working a 9 to 5 and then coming home and just hustling away.
Yeah.
Hustling. There's so many cool stories like that. I love hearing a success story. I love hearing a story about a guy that's just like shit in the dumps and then just somehow makes it out of it and finds his career.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. I saw, just cruising the internet the other day, I saw like just one of those video memes, and it was Travis Scott performing in front of like 12 people.
When?
And it was just said 5 years ago, Travis Scott performing, and it's just like a couple people, empty stage, and he's same thing, like jumping around, same energy. 5 years, fast forward, here we are. He's like, just put out that new album.
Yeah. I love that.
Probably 12 million, whatever.
Are you a big documentary guy?
I like documentaries. Yeah. I like interviews. I like this world of stuff. I never thought I'd be talking, but yeah. What about you?
Love them.
Yeah. What you can recommend?
Jesus. Documentaries I could recommend, top of my head. So what about food? The obesity in America. I really like that. I like jail documentaries. I like documentaries that, like a world that I'll never be involved with, like going to jail. Like I'll never go to jail, but for some reason I'm fascinated by it. It's just things that I'll never know, that I won't see on a day-to-day basis. I have a fascination for. So I could never really watch a podcast or a documentary on podcasting or anything like that because I'm in it. But things that I'm not really involved with, I guess I enjoy to watch. Yeah. I can't really name on top of the head though.
Have you ever watched the Complex series called Blueprint?
No.
You should check that out. It would. I know you just said you don't like watching things that you're in, but I think you'd really be into that.
What's it about?
It's similar. It's an interview setting. Yeah. But it's the Complex. I don't know his name. I forget his name. But he interviews a lot of, I guess, moguls in our fashion, music, pretty much everything. Okay. The big one that I can think of that I really know that you might like is he does like John Buscemi, Cause, the artist Cause, Ronnie Feig. He does Kith Clothing. Who else? Off the top of my head, I can't think, but it's really, really cool.
Who's the guy conducting the interviews? Is he a well-known guy?
He is a well-known. He's a Complex guy. If you just type in Complex Blueprint, I think there's 2 seasons on YouTube. Okay. And it's very high quality, really good content, and it's just that, like hearing those people's success stories, and a lot of it is what we talked about. It's the guys, the underdogs that have that are now on top. But yeah,
a really cool,
inspiring.
I will watch it. A really cool underdog story is Chance, not underdog, but Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
His manager.
He's on there.
Oh,
He's
so then maybe
the big guy.
Yeah,
with
the beard.
Beard. Yeah,
he looks like a young Rick Rubin.
Yes.
So then that's the
maybe
guy.
that's it. Yeah, maybe that's the one you saw.
Okay, then I think I have seen it.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, not Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin's that's a fucking great story. But Chance the Rapper's manager, very cool story. Essentially, he's the guy that put it into Chance's head, like, hey, we don't need to sign with a big label. Let's go independent. I know the way to success through an independent route. He studied his ass off, and essentially, I'm not saying he did have a big part of Chance's career, but anyways, it was just a fantastic interview. The way he was able to describe the relationships that he's built with other people's camp, and how the money was there. They're broke. They're in this studio. They could have used the money, and they just decided to keep their head down, keep hustling, and stay independent. Just so motivational. Like right now, if I was sitting here and someone offered me $1 million to put the podcast on a studio, it's like, absolutely, I would do that on a radio station. Yeah. And this guy just had the balls to say, no, we're going to stay independent, keep putting our music out on YouTube. It's honestly an interview that was just, it's one of those interviews you remember.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but it would take some serious balls to do that.
Oh, fuck, so many.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin, who he is?
I can't put a face to his name.
Yeah, big music producer, started not Def Jam. Who's Russell Simmons? What's the industry that he owns? Him and Russell Simmons started, I think, Def Jam Records.
Death Row?
Not Death Row, that's Suge Knight. I think it was Def Jam. Anyways, back in when they were in their college dorm room, and that was they started the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and all that stuff. There's a couple great documentaries on that. Have you seen the Defiant ones? With Dr. Dre and it's Dr. Dre and Eminem.
Yes.
You've seen that?
I've seen those, yes.
That's a really good one.
That's a good one.
Talking about how they had success and then they sucked and then they found success again, started Beats by Dre. Jimmy Iovine would just stay in his bathroom hiding from his family for weeks at a time and just call people to invest in his company. Just hang the phone up, call back, hang the phone up, call back. Just the drive of some of these people is just...
Yeah,
it's inspiring.
It is inspiring. I think it's cool to just hear that, and that's what motivates a lot of people in this space, right?
Me, for 100%.
Me as well. It doesn't have to be in the art world. You could watch an interview of a professional athlete. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
Same drive.
Yeah, I think a lot of those things help people in a space like us. There's times where you're just what are you doing, Justin? This isn't for you. You could be making 10 times more money doing something else, getting a full-time job, things like that. Mm-hmm. And then you just watch these things and I don't know. It definitely puts some drive into you.
I agree.
Yeah, you need to see people that have done it before in order to, how people say you need a mentor. It's you do need a mentor, but you can find 30 mentors online. Yeah. Things are just so well documented now.
I think so too. I think it's a blessing and a curse.
Well said. It is.
It's everything. The accessibility to information is just there and vast, and everything's there, and your chances and exposure is all there. But it's kind of diluting the market, I think, a little bit too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
You don't know who to listen to.
Yeah. Who's right? What separates you from the next guy?
Yeah.
So it's
one thing I've been doing is taking pieces from everyone. I'll hear something that I like from one person, just add it to my own little brand of thoughts, I guess you could say, and then you just kind of keep pushing forward. That's one thing I've been doing these past 6 months, just taking little bits of advice from everyone that I like and just go with it. Because if you listen to everyone, and I don't know, you can your head can spin off.
Yeah, you're a product of your own surroundings, right? So
yeah, that's true.
I agree.
What about you? Any other people that you surround yourself with, other artists that you work with or that I would know of maybe?
Yeah, so there's one of my really good friends. His name's Lance. He's probably been the single most influential artist in my life, probably. Wow. He's just always been that guy that's super talented, naturally talented, and he's a tattoo artist now. It's one of those guys that's for example, I had an art show back in February. Yeah. And I was super timid just to invite him to show up, because I've always felt I'm not an artist. Lance is an artist. you know, I don't want him to see my, anyway.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Kind of just like the trials and tribulations of identifying as, you know, anyway. So yeah, having his seal of approval is huge for me, for sure.
Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have full sleeves.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Half sleeves, yeah.
Lance, his name is?
Lance Hogue. He tattoos in Truro.
Okay.
He's definitely, well, he knows Mike and Dan, and he's a really talented artist. He's one of those guys that, like, age 5, frying bologna in the frying pan, uses a knife, cuts it the way it shapes up into like a frog or something like that. Like, just
pure born artist.
Pure born artist, for sure. I know Mike mentioned on the last podcast, you know, sometimes he feels like he has to work for it a little more. I feel the same way. Like, it's not one of those, I think some people really have to put the time in, and, you know, certain things find their lane, and then there's those geniuses that just can stand back here and paint a 60-foot wall without any
hesitation,
any hesitation, that just have it. It's just like a right brain, I don't know. But so that would be, I'd say, the biggest influence for sure. And then I know Mike, and there's a couple guys in Halifax and Nova Scotia particularly that are doing some great things for the scene. And
wow,
yeah, it's cool. It's more in the public eye and more accepted now. I find it's more sought after and sort of new concept for people. A lot of the baby boomers are kind of getting into it a little bit. So
cool. Yeah. Have you ever been down to Dan and Mike's studio on the Bedford Highway?
Not yet.
Go.
Yeah. Have you been?
When they came here and did the podcast, as soon as it was over, we just went to their place, to their studio. We spent like 45 minutes there and just kind of talked. Cool. Oh man, just the ultimate creative space. Yeah. You know, walls are painted, roofs painted, floors painted, paint cans everywhere. Just so much creativity in one place. It's almost overwhelming. You want to look at everything because super, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain.
It's just that, like we said earlier, like that zone where you feel you feel like, okay, there's art that happens in here.
They have a bunch of like little rooms in the back, and it's just like, man, I'd love to put like a podcast studio back there, just be able to like, because so many people come through there. You know, it's just one of those places where something's always happening. I think it would just be great for a podcast studio. And that's one thing that kind of, I guess, is lacking in Truro. Yeah, there's really not that, you know, they might have 2 or 3 friends come through and they're all working on, they draw inspiration from, and just to have the conversation, other people doing it in the space. I'm like a hermit that's just away in his room doing this thing. But it's cool. I still like to keep in touch with those guys. It was a really interesting podcast. I was happy to talk to them. It was something like I've never really had a conversation with 2 like artists before, but as soon as it was over, I was like, you know, you can do this. Like they're just people, but just have different interests. Like I'm able to hold a conversation with someone that, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that a lot of your fans and listeners probably also feel the same. Like they want to learn about that's a good point, this art and stuff that maybe that is not so mainstream and not so easily accessible to know what it's about, or you know, how to reach out to someone to get a painting for their house or whatever, right? So the other day I had a conversation with a doctor, and I won't lie, like a little bit before I was a little hesitant. I was like, how am I going to hold this conversation for 30 minutes with a doctor, you know? And then you just get in there and you start the conversation, and you're just like, you know what, this is just a guy, you know, he's just like me. He's just trying to get by, and
gone
he's just
through all the same shit.
Exactly. He's really smart. This is pretty much what it came down to, and probably one of the best podcasts we've done. Just learned so much from him. Not even that, just about business, like consistency, same routine. I don't know. I just learned a lot from the guy. It was cool. So as soon as I do it with an artist, and I haven't done an athletic podcast in a week. You know what I mean? You just learn as you go with it. You really have, I truly think that everyone has something that you can learn from. Yes, absolutely. You know, there's something that they're interested that maybe you don't have exposure to, that I love figuring out what makes someone tick. Yeah. That's really cool. What makes you tick? It's just, you know, what makes me tick? That's a weird question. I think just being able to make stuff that
that people like, I guess. Create emotion, stuff like that. It sounds kind of corny, but
no.
Make something from nothing and turn it into something that someone may have for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Leave your mark.
Yeah. Speaking of leave your mark, did you ever like tag when you were younger?
Yeah, definitely. So when I mentioned growing up, it's in school, I didn't really feel like it was cool, or it was not many people did art, and graffiti was kind of the rebellious way to make it cool, I guess.
Okay.
It wasn't so like artsy fartsy, but it was more like, I'm gonna do something over here. But I never really took to it. I definitely did it, but I never really took to it as well as some other people.
Okay.
But it got me in the space for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I still use spray paint to this day.
Do you?
Quite regularly, yeah. But the big one for me is I actually had a screen print clothing company.
Cool.
That's what kind of got me drawing again and back into that world. And then did that for a few years, and it was cool, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And had some traction, but then just a lot of money tied up in tees and screen printers and all that craziness. It just became too much of a headache, and then I just said, well, why not? I'm just gonna draw, and it just was kind of a natural progression from there.
Yeah.
But
it seems like you have a real big interest in like wearable art. I don't know. Yeah. That's the energy I'm getting from you.
Yeah, definitely. I've always been a huge interest in like streetwear or whatever. Just But I'd like to design more clothing. Like talking to the guy yesterday painting his jeans, I was like, I miss doing this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's cool. But I think to do it at a level that I would enjoy even more would have to be like working for another company or
internship
somewhere that have like some budget and can do the stuff that I like, or because you're pretty limited when you're screen printing t-shirts.
That sucks.
Sure. But I don't think there should be any boundaries. Like I painted a motocross helmet for one of my friends, and he wore it at Motocross of Nations in France last year.
Sick.
So that was probably a pretty big high vis kind of piece I did.
Definitely.
Really enjoyed that.
You should get into painting like goalie helmets.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
There's definitely a need for that.
There definitely is. I feel like a lot of the athletic helmets are predominantly airbrush.
I have no idea.
I think because of the detail and just looking at them and stuff, I think it'd be cool to bring some different elements into it, because I'm sure a lot of the stuff has been done time and time again, right? Well,
I think like when goalies get their helmets done, that's another thing like you go through. Like they have some input, they want this, they want that. Mm-hmm. So you're already similar there, but it might be a little difficult because like a hockey helmet's not a canvas, like it's curved. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I would need to know a little bit more.
Practice a bit.
Yeah, have a little bit more technology in like the finishing process, like clearing it, making it so it's, I guess it can withstand some wear and tear. Yeah,
there's been some cool hockey helmets. Can't think of any in the top of my head, but in the NHL, there's been some real creative ones. I actually think the Mooseheads have like a special Memorial Cup one because they're getting the Mem Cup this year.
Are they?
So I think, I could be wrong. I don't know. I think I saw a goalie helmet recently from the Mooseheads. I thought there was a Mem Cup, but that would be something you could look into. Yeah. I was looking at your Instagram page. You had orange glasses. Are those Gonzalez's glasses?
Those are my Elton John friends.
Oh, that was close.
No, but so I have a motorcycle. Okay. And those are really good for low light, riding low light, stuff like that.
Orange.
Like dusk, stuff like that. It just kind of pops everything.
Yeah.
I get a lot of comments on those, and at that point in time I was at a motorcycle festival, like the Wharf Rat Rally in Digby, so just kind of looked like a biker dude, I guess.
Do you know who I'm talking about when I say Gons?
Yeah, Mark
Gonzalez.
Mark Gonzalez, yeah. I remember you guys talked about him on with that dude is amazing.
Well, so why, like, I know he's amazing, but like, why does everyone else think, like, I don't know, what's so special about him?
I think the coolest part about the Gons is he's gone his whole entire career with the support of, huge staple brands, huge budgets, and still remained to keep his own sort of identity, I guess, and his own lifestyle, his own, just him.
Sick.
I think there's a degree of respect in a lot of people, not only skaters, but that just when people can hold on to that, and any when you reach fame and fortune, if you can hold on to that, your personality or core sets of values and beliefs, he's sick. And I think he's done a really good job of that.
Yeah.
He's like 50 some, I think he's 50. Yeah.
He smokes a cigar a day, so that probably added 10 years on him, but yeah.
But he's an inspiration. He's just kept it cool the whole time.
I feel like that's a guy who you said at the beginning, like, just always takes risks. He's never in his comfort zone. He's always out there just trying something new. And that, to me, is why I think a guy like that is so successful. He's just always trying something new. But I didn't know he worked with a lot of brands. I thought it was just like Adidas, because he did those Stan Smiths or something.
Adidas is the big one that comes to mind for sure. But over his career, probably a ton. Yeah, for sure.
And isn't he like an innovational skateboarder? Like, he changed the way skateboarding was or something. Could be wrong.
I think he crossed a lot of barriers with like shredding longboards and stuff. Like,
okay. Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Like he'll be ripping a bull on like basically a large version of an actual skateboard, or like a little fishtail or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think early on it might have been like what's this guy doing? But he's just one of those guys that doesn't care about anyone's opinion, thought, anything, and just does his own thing.
I know he spends a lot of time in New York. Have you ever been to New York?
No.
It's
I've been in and around, and I just never been in the city.
You want to go?
I do. See, I've been to LA a handful of times, and Venice Beach and shit, but I feel like New York is like, especially being so close.
Oh yeah,
a staple to any creative.
Same with me. I've been on all the great cities on the West Coast, never on the East. Never been to Boston, never been to New York, never been to Philly, never been to nothing. And all those cities are all train rides away. If you're in one of them, you can get to any of them.
It's kind of a shame we're so close and it's so accessible, and we've never been.
I know.
That's on the list for sure.
Apparently, though, when you go to New York, you got to stay there for
a while. You
got to stay for a week or two, or like New York's a place I'd love to live for like a year. I'm sure it would suck for like the first you alright?
Yeah.
I'm sure it would suck for like the first month, because you'd know nothing how to get around. But then once you figure it out, I'd love to spend a year there.
I think so too. I think you'd have to kind of set yourself up with a local so that have that network where you can you cut out that whole 6-month phase where you're getting to know everywhere and all the spots.
You just have a tour guide with you at all times, showing you where to go. Like restaurants, sporting events, art galleries, museums, libraries, monuments. I could go on things I want to do in New York. You ever see that documentary where the guy went to the old underground subway? You saw that?
Is that the one that's goes over the history of graffiti?
No. He so essentially in New York there's two forms of subway. There's one that they currently use and an old one, but the old one still stands, but it's very vintage. But you're not allowed to go there. It's private. So this guy essentially brings a guy that videotapes it all, puts gloves on, he's a real heavy duty guy. And he goes through the sewers, he's walking through the sewers, underground New York, and just turns a corner, and then the next thing you know, this beautiful vintage subway line is just right there, and it's dead empty, and it's massive.
That'd be sick.
Essentially, he just goes to underground New York, places that the general public is not allowed to go, and he gets a guy to film it. Very Banksy very undercover, no one's gonna see me. He's not an artist, but he just knows all these places. But you've seen the movie Exit Through the Gift Shop?
Yes.
Very similar to that, in the style of film.
And just a complete
random
thing that no one would ever have access to had he not made a video.
I don't even know if it's a documentary. I think it is just a video. It's just it's like a 20-minute video on YouTube. I'll send it to you.
It
just incredible.
Yeah, just that whole railway culture of New York alone is it's like a mogul in graffiti art, everything.
Speaking of underground, have you ever heard that there's a tunnel that connects McNabb's Island, Citadel Hill to what's the island downtown in the middle there?
McNabb's?
Not McNabb. What's the island right there, right downtown?
Yeah, that's
Sable.
Sable.
Sable Island?
Yeah,
no, is it?
So.
No, not Sable.
It's just the little one you can see when you're right at the way. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Anyways, have you ever heard that rumor that there's a tunnel connected?
I have heard.
Heard that?
Is that for, like, dates back to the
Halifax explosion days, like way back?
Yeah, crazy.
I've heard that a couple times.
There is some spooky holes and bunker areas over there for sure.
Have you been on the Ghost Walk tour?
No.
I'd love to do that.
No.
Apparently, it's real scary.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
I'd love to do something like that.
I would too. The first time I've ever been over to McNabb's actually was like a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah?
Took the ferry over, and actually it was the start of a bachelor party, and it was sweet. Just, watching, and went over with backpack full of beer, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool spot.
Yeah, I've never been.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to say it.
Way to kind of get away from the downtown city with, a quick rip across the harbor.
No, there's a lot of things in Halifax that I honestly still haven't discovered. Like, there's streets in Halifax that I haven't been on still. Like, just like in the South End. Like, I don't know, there's things that I just got to discover more, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know New York's obviously a bigger city. There's tons of things to discover, but there's definitely things in the city. And I'm sure, like in Truro, there's places.
Yeah.
Like, what's that park with the waterfall?
Victoria Park.
Well, you said weren't you there today?
Yeah, I was there today.
Yeah, well,
I go there every day. I live really close to it. Yeah. It's amazing.
I love that park.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's like our best kept secret, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
I think Nova Scotia is like that in general. Like there's so many gems that we've lived here our whole life that we probably have never thought to go to, and there's definitely some people that are bringing light to those spots.
Definitely. Not even Nova Scotia, just like the Atlantic provinces. Have you ever been to Newfoundland?
Yeah, once.
Never been.
No.
How old were you when you went?
Like 16, I think. I went on a snowboard trip with my buddies.
Did you get to really experience it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a shitty winter. There wasn't much snow, so I guess didn't really get to enjoy it. So yeah, we did, because we spent more time in the city and got screeched in. And
that's 16?
16, 17. There's definitely some booze involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's all right. You don't have to elaborate.
Yeah. I don't know how old I was, but I've definitely been there once.
No,
sickest I've ever been in my life was coming back from there.
Why?
Ferry.
Yeah.
I had the flu before I left. So I was kind of pukey, and then got on the ferry that had been delayed from rough seas, and paired that with those two together, and it was miserable, dude.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks traveling when you're sick.
It does.
That's the worst.
It does. Where have you been on the West Coast? Have you been to Whistler before?
I've never been to. I don't know. Have I? I might have. I've been down in the West Coast a lot in Vancouver area. Maybe when I was younger, I went there.
Did you ever live there?
I lived there for a year last year. Yeah.
Cool.
Lived there for a bit. Was down at LA for a bit. Yeah, I've been on the West Coast. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different energy than the East Coast, I think.
I agree.
It's I don't know, it's hard to explain. You just got to go, you know what I mean? It's just the people,
everything about it.
Everything about it is just very different.
Yeah. Would you ever live there?
Yeah. Like, well, I did live there.
Long term, I guess, is what I'm getting.
Maybe if like the work opportunity came up, if I was in a good financial position. It's very expensive to live in a lot of bigger cities on the West Coast. But yeah, I'd definitely live there. Why not? Would you?
It's so far away.
I know.
That's the big thing. Like
family.
That's why I came back. I always kind of had this guilty feeling that I was away from everyone. So
if you think about it, it's like if you're in the financial position to come back, it's an 8-hour flight. From anywhere on the West Coast. It's like it does suck to be away, but if money's not a thing for you and you can just fly back like that for all birthdays, it's, I don't know.
That's the crazy thing though, is you pay so much for a domestic flight,
so much,
and you can fly to Scotland for half of that, less than half that.
Yeah,
so it's kind of crazy.
Canada needs more airlines, man. We don't have anything.
No,
in America, it's
just the people.
Yeah,
we don't have the numbers.
Yeah. How many people are in Canada now? 32 mil?
I think so.
And like
375.
In like California alone, it's like 37 mil.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Outrageous.
Have you been to a Dodgers game?
Yes.
Me too. How nice is that stadium?
Oh, it's so sick. And at that point in time, I was like, if I'm going to a Dodgers game, I got to get good seats. Yeah. And I was like right on first base. Right there.
Lower bowl?
Yeah.
Sick.
Just that fuck it, like why not?
Who are they playing?
I think it was the Giants, actually.
That's a rivalry.
Yeah. So the energy was my girlfriend's first time too. She's like, "Why are you taking me to a baseball game?" And I was like, "You just wait." Like, it's hard to explain to someone who's never been.
Yeah.
It's the energy in there. It's one of those sports that's so intriguing when you're right there in the ballpark.
It's one of those stadiums that is just like, it literally looks like it's from a movie. Like, you look in the outfield, like out past we sat in the upper bowl when I went, and you could see the Hollywood sign from where we were sitting, like in the palm trees, the sunset. I don't know if you were there on a nice night, but like it was like 8 o'clock, the sun was going down, the whole sky was pink, you could see the Hollywood sign. It was just like, I don't know, it was just one of those stadiums. It's kind of
perched up on the even from the parking lot. Did you know that stadium was dug into the ground, like built into the ground? So what they did, they built it up on that hill over there by Echo Park, and they dug like essentially a bowl in the parking lot, or it wasn't a parking lot at the time, and they put the stadium inside the bowl. You know what I mean? So like the parking lot is even with the outfield. Wow, it's kind of cool like that. That is cool, yeah.
So they wanted it lower so you could see some sort of view. It was very. That's another great documentary of Dodger Stadium.
I'll check that out.
Do it.
Yeah.
I love baseball stadiums.
Do you?
Love baseball food.
Baseball food.
Oh, like each stadium.
Hot dogs particularly.
Oh yeah. Each stadium has like a different item. Like Yankee Stadium, it's a steak sandwich. Dodgers, it's the Dodger dog. Like Toronto, I think it's like a certain type of burger. I don't know. I love weird shit like that.
Yeah. Live sports in general.
So what do you got going on for the rest of the day? We're almost at 50 minutes here.
Are we?
Yeah.
We're just chatting, enjoying.
Flies by.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Rest of the day, actually, usually when I'm off day off, I do a lot of painting. So I have a piece I'm working on for a guy, and just kind of mellow down, do that, and see what I can get done.
Not a boy.
Yeah. What about you?
We're gonna put this podcast out. I'm gonna go do a video shoot tonight. Gonna clean up the house a bit, and let's say that's it.
Yeah,
man. Do you want to say anything else? Anyone, any friends, any shout outs, any upcoming events? I know Fashion Week's coming out. If you want to plug away, go ahead.
Nothing. Check that out. My friend Tusi, he's gonna be have full runway kind of show, I guess, as runway as it can be in Halifax.
Okay,
and that'll be cool next Thursday. Thanks Mike and Dan for kind of not really linking, but I guess breaking the ice on the art scene in here, and especially you for having me. Yeah, man. Just short notice. This was cool. Never done anything like this. Super out of my comfort zone, but
that's how you get ahead, man.
Yeah. If you like any or want to check out my work, you can check me out on Instagram at Matt Bailey Paint. Spell it right out. Check me out.
Love it. Yes. All right. Thanks again for coming, man. I appreciate it. Short notice.
Thanks for having me, Justin.
No worries, man. Anyone that is listening, I appreciate the support. Hi button. Go to all of our social media outlets. Like, subscribe, comment. Go to our iTunes page. Leave a comment if you could. I got nothing else to say. Thank you very much. Hi button out.